Yeah, it feels like a good day to brew a winter warmer. We drew inspiration for this recipe from Long Trail Hibernator, but Hibernator is only a 6% beer, and it seems we like big beers around here, so we pushed it up to 7.7%. The grain bill for this brew is 70% Golden Valley Pale Malt, 12% Munich, 7% Crystal 60, 4% flake barley, 4% chocolate malt, and 3% dark brown sugar just to push the ABV a little bit higher, and also to push our final gravity down a little bit for a cleaner finish. We're lucky to have a maltster just a few miles down the road in Holyoke, Mass, so we buy as much as we can from Valley Malt. We changed our yeast from Safel US05 to SO4 and decided to add a little bit of brown sugar just to push the ABV back up. The hops for this beer will be Willamette hops. There will be a 60-minute addition for 21 IBUs and a 15-minute addition for an additional 4.1 IBUs, giving us about 25 IBUs total. This will be our water profile for this beer. Notice the 2-to-1 chloride to sulfate just to brighten up the malt a little bit. And the 117 bicarbonate is just a byproduct of our local tap water. The 5 milliliters of lactic acid will help counteract that bicarbonate. Try to get all the grains milled and everything measured out before the guys get there in the morning. Now, to say that our brew house is mobile is probably a stretch, but Mila is always there to help me out. We brew with our well water and then add salts to fine tune it for the beer we're trying to make. We'll add all the water, in this case 11 gallons, to the boil kettle. Make our additions to all the water at once when we get to about 100 degrees. Actually forgot to close the valves. Realized it just in time. Once we get to about 100 degrees, we'll add our brewing salts. And our lactic acid. Once we hit strike temperature, we will push our mash water over to the mash tun to help preheat the steel, make it a little bit easier to hit our mash in temperature, especially this time of year. After a few minutes, we'll push it back over to the boil kettle, push it back up to the strike water temp. Turn this off, Sean? Yep. We will add our grains to the mash tun dry. We prefer to underlet and push the strike water in from the bottom and hydrate the grains from the bottom up. We nailed our mash temperature of 151. Beaker test. Good sugar water, right? Yeah. Just look at that color. And the smell was absolutely amazing. After 60-minute mash and another 10 minutes of recirculating, it's time for first runnings, and we will bring this in through the whirlpool port in the bottom of the kettle. Then we do a 20-minute sparge and another 10-minute of recirculating. We do an awful lot of this.
Yeah, get the mug shots on there.
Right? Brewing's kind of like hours of boredom punctuated by moments of sheer terror.
Yep. Panic. Get the hose. No, the other hose.
We want 7.5.
All right, 7.5. All right. Mark it.
Just by pulling more of this in, we'll
That's
actually good.
Yep.
We'll actually end up diluting it. Let's see, because we still got a full glass there.
Oh yeah.
Get the checking the pre-boil gravity.
Yeah.
What do you got? 1058?
I got 1058. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Dead on. Then it's time to start the boil. Cleaning up the mash tun is always fun, especially this time of year. Keith was kind enough to dump the spent grains down the bottom of the hill and trudge back up through the snow. We hit boil, and now it's time for the 60-minute hop addition. Now that we're boiling, it's time for a little bit of treehouse. Beer and pizza, because it's tradition. This is one of the few days that we've been above freezing in the last 3 weeks, so it's time to enjoy it. Cheers.
Yep. Cheers.
With 15 minutes left on the boil, we took a few cups of hot wort out and dissolved our brown sugar in it, and added it back so that we didn't scald the sugar. Then we added a Warflock tablet and our last hop addition. When we reached a 60-minute boil, we put in the chiller and started bringing the wort temperature down. This time of year, it falls pretty fast. We hydrated a couple of packs of SO4 and some wort and then added it to our fermenter. Added the tilt and then oxygenated with pure oxygen for 60 seconds.
20 seconds.
Then we brought the fermenter inside to the lovely fermentation cellar. Our fermenter runs a small heating pad and temperature controller. And then we add a homemade hat to help keep the temperature steady.
Hats for bats.
Yeah? What's your handicap?
Keep bats warm.
Fermentation went smoothly and quickly, starting out at 1073 and bottoming out at 1012. After fermentation was completed, I purged the headspace with CO2 and dropped the temperature down to 58 degrees for a week of conditioning. And you guessed it, we got more snow. After a week of conditioning at 58 degrees, it was time to do a close transfer from the fermenter to a purged keg. Once the keg was full, we'll put it in the kegerator, cold crash it to 38, carbonate, and let it condition for another week to 2 weeks. Be sure to check in on the next video for a tasting to see how it all worked out. Cheers!